Good afternoon, everyone. East coast of the United States circled, yeah, South Carolina and Georgia. That's snow, not clouds. Frosty beaches, record cold in Florida, progression of the Bombogenesis still in play, blizzard conditions on the East Coast. This weekend, record cold, Northeast United States, 20 below, 30 below zero, wind chills, and abnormally low temperatures. Great Lakes freezing the fastest in the last 35 years. And while you're watching the video, please remember to subscribe to Adapt 2030 and click that bell so you can get the latest updates. Starting you off here with a satellite view, that circled red area, that's not clouds, that's snowfall all the way down through Georgia. And what it looks like on a satellite is a little bit different than what it looks like on land. So let's wide this out here. North Carolina, South Carolina on the beaches. So this is approximately how much snow fell in South Carolina, North Carolina beach areas. And when they talk about powder white sand, this is not it. This is snow on the beach. Have to go back about 25-30 years to find something similar to this. But then down in Florida, a story I'm chasing down, swimming pools are freezing over in Pensacola. Record temperatures on deck here for Florida. It's the third day below freezing so far, and as we march into the weekend, it's going to get even cooler. I've linked everything below so you can go back and find these same charts yourself. Look in the description box. Now up to Tony Heller's media feed here. Great Lakes are freezing the fifth fastest since 1980. White out here so you can see the ice accumulation, and I'm really wondering if we're going to eclipse one of these other high marks, and maybe it'll be second all-time most ice since the 1980s, but that really wouldn't make sense because global warming, everything's supposed to be melting, right? Talking about the high tides blown in by the Bombogenesis, bringing in sea ice, literally flooding the streets with sea ice, feet deep water coming off the ocean, all-time highest tide Boston has ever received since 1921. But again, when we go back into the 1600s, the unofficial records say similar things had happened at that time. Entire beachfronts were washed away in the 1600s. So when you talk about the whaling communities and the stories that came down from that time, it's unofficial on the record, but the stories are still there. They're starting to experience these same high tide winter storms, blocks of ice breaking down buildings. This is back in the 1600s though, but it's the exact same thing but on a mini scale right now. White out here for you, and you can clearly see that that is much higher than even the highest tides before. So we're getting into literally uncharted new territories within the last 400 years. And that Bombogenesis storm racing up the East Coast, blizzard conditions, whiteouts, ice storms, airport closures still continues. Let's look at the progression from around New York, moving over the New England states, and then it's going to be up into the Maritimes of Canada tomorrow. But do not be lulled by this passing and think that it's going to finish and we're out of any type of harm or danger. Actually, it's the contrary. Zooming in, we can see the cyclonic spin, same as 2016, Bombogenesis. New term, rare kind of storm. Only once in 50 years, 2 years ago, and now it's back again. It's becoming the norm. It's not becoming rare any longer. But behind this Bombogenesis, whatever you like to call it, bent jet stream anomaly, atmospheric compression, behind it is Arctic air. And they are really looking at all-time record cold temperatures sweeping over not just a few towns, but the entire part of the United States and Canada on the eastern seaboard. White out here for you so you can see the temperatures that are coming. And you're looking at minus 30, minus 20. And it'll seem toasty at 8 degrees instead of minus 30. Now these are the types of temperatures that you're thinking about experiencing in northern Canada near the Arctic Circle. No, this is down in the northeastern United States, and a little bit further south even into Virginia. These are areas that you don't consider Arctic cold that are going to become Arctic cold. They even have it termed hashtag Arcticgeddon. That's how cold it's going to get. Seriously, this is all-time record cold that we have not seen in hundreds of years about to descend on the east part of Canada and the United States over the weekend. If you got pets, you need to get ready to bring them indoors. You're going to have to be worried about your pipes freezing at this point. Emergency services, they're going to be stretched to the limit. The blizzards that are rolling through already are going to make driving conditions horrendous for fire trucks and ambulances to get through anywhere. This literally, the power grid is stretched, they're running out of fuel, and you are absolutely seeing what the norm is going to be for the grand solar minimum. It's going to be like this every winter from now on. This is just a taste of what is coming. Wide out here so you can see the absolute freezing temperatures that are going to be coming down over all the way from the Great Lakes, touching into Virginia. 5 degrees in Virginia. That's not right. And I love how the media is already talking about how the warm front's going to roll through after this Arcticgeddon. But look at the warm front. 7 degrees, 8 degrees, 9 degrees. They're going to be using the words warm front for this to try to disguise this anomalous cold. Global warming doesn't explain this. This cold is not from global warming. And these news media outlets that are coming out story after story saying global warming is causing these record cold temperatures, you need to use common sense at some point. They're talking about all-time record cold in Ontario and Quebec, spilling over into New England, record cold daytime highs, record cold nighttime, blistering Arctic frozen tundra style cold, extremely dangerous wind chills. And we're all being told that this is because of CO2 when the grand solar minimum has started and intensifying, and they're still trying to say CO2 is responsible for all this. More air temperatures here for you, and all those square boxes are all-time record cold coming. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. And I want you to really notice how the media is going to try to disguise this all-time record cold with the Bombogenesis, bent jet streams, completely unusual weather. And they're going to try to sprinkle in a bunch of warm words in there and explain that it's all because of CO2. And then you need to say, no, it's not. It's because of the grand solar minimum.